what happens to people when corporations destroy the community. So it's a very nice town. It's very quaint. It's a very small town, middle of America.
It's just a pretty typical youth-supported community, and I loved that about living in this town.
You would live your life for your kids, and that's a very big thing for us. When I was a kid, I really wanted to play hockey, but my mom didn't have the money for me to play hockey, and we have done everything in our power to make sure that Evie can play hockey.
That's why I work 2 jobs to, put them through their sports and help them do the things that they want to do. And yeah, that's pretty much why we do everything we do, is to give our kids the best opportunities that we can.
The Albrights described their life as one of routine. The night of February 3rd, 2023 was no different.
So it was a typical Friday night. My middle daughter's a cheerleader, so she was at the high school. I was arguing with Evie to get her pajamas on because it was getting late, get ready for bed, that whole thing. And then Lainy had, she's my middle daughter, started getting alerts on her phone through social media that there was an incident with a train. A few minutes later, we realized it was a derailment. And then I went to let the dogs outside. And when I opened the door, it was like a hit in the face with the smell from the chemicals. So I peeked around the back of the house and saw a giant fireball and black smoke pouring not far from our house.
And then I was kind of scared, since we were half a mile from it, that our house would catch on fire or something.
I packed up the girls and went to my sister's house. She lives about 15 minutes away.
The day after that, I woke up on Sunday and the sky was blue. It looked great. I thought everything was going to be great.
That day, authorities evacuated the 2 square miles around the derailment site. The relief valves on the cars containing the chemical vinyl chloride had malfunctioned, and authorities feared a catastrophic explosion. The next day, they elected to burn nearly 1 million pounds of the toxic chemical into the East Palestine air.
This was not a controlled burn. There was nothing about it controlled. This was a
open burn pit.
After that, we were told we were allowed to come back to town. So we did. We were, ecstatic about that. We thought that was going to be a great thing. We can go back in our house.
Within 10 minutes of being in the house, I had a headache and a sore throat, and it smelled horrendous. Within just a couple of weeks, he started getting extremely sick. It was within days that we started having minor symptoms, and then we would leave for a hockey tournament or something, would be out of town, and his symptoms cleared up, and then we came back home and everybody was sick again.
I got super bad nosebleeds every single day. Every time I came home, I'd be home for 4 seconds, and then it would just start gushing. It was sink full of blood, and the one went on for over an hour.
I never get headaches, ever. And I was getting headaches. And then I started experiencing random vomiting, which was really weird. I'd be in a shower and throw up out of nowhere. It got to the point where I couldn't walk 15, 20 feet without losing all my breath. I would have to sit down and take a break. When I went to my doctor and he started seeing all my symptoms, he sent me in for a chest x-ray, and then he sent me in for an echocardiogram. When we got the results of that, I was listed as congestive heart failure, which was not good. That was I did the worst thing I could possibly do, and I went on Dr. Google, and congestive heart failure said that I'm going to live for 8 to 10 years. I was a wreck at this time. I am 100% man enough to admit that when I was alone, I was crying. I'm going to die soon. And before the train derailment, I was fine.
Video on your screen now shows that the train appeared to be on fire This is interesting. 20 miles before it reached the site where it actually went off the tracks.
This was something that should have never happened. There were sensors that went off miles away that alerted to the overheated component on the train.
If you take that one single car off of that train that's over a mile long and you attach it to a semi-truck and send it down the road, DOT decides that it can be pulled over randomly at any given time and inspected. But if you attach it to a train engine, there's no regulation. They regulate their own guidelines, so they can do whatever they want.
We have had no support from the government. Republican, Democrat, I don't care. This can happen again because nothing is being done about it. Nothing is.
Unsatisfied with the government response, the Albrights sought national support through an interview with the New York Times.
The day after that article came out, I had a knock on my door, and there was 2 EPA agents standing right outside of my door, which, where were you the whole time before this?
Hoping to escape uncertain health effects, the Albrights fled to a hotel room in Pennsylvania. After spending 4 months away from home, they are now faced with the question of whether to stay in their beloved East Palestine.
I don't know what my work future is going to be like at all. I don't know what our daughters' futures are going to be like. We like the town. We really do.
If God himself came down and said everything is fine, we would stay in a heartbeat. But we just haven't had honest and open communication from the people that should be giving it to us.
Sooner or later, you guys are going to come into corporate litigation, and you're going to side for the corporations because that's where the money's at. But there are people that they affect, and we are those people. We need your help. Not just us, but like everybody down the road that, we need your help. We need you guys to remember what happens to people when things like this happen, when corporations destroy a community.